The Jerusalem Bible, Genesis 47:28 through 48:22. Jacob lived 17 years in the land of Egypt, and the length of his life was 147 years. When Israel's time to die drew near, he called his son Joseph and said to him, "If I enjoy your favor, place your hand under my thigh and promise to be kind and good to me. Do not bury me in Egypt. When I sleep with my fathers, carry me out of Egypt and bury me in their tomb." "I will do as you say," he replied. "Swear to me," he insisted. So he swore to him, and Israel sank back on the pillow. Chapter 48. Sometime later it was reported to Joseph, "Your father has taken ill." So he took with him his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. When Jacob was told, "Look, your son Joseph has come to you," Israel, summoning his strength, sat up in bed. "El Shaddai appeared to me at Luz, in the country of Canaan," Jacob told Joseph, "and he blessed me, saying to me, 'I will make you fruitful and increase you in numbers. I will make you a group of peoples, and give this country to your descendants after you, to be their own in perpetuity.' Now your two sons, born to you in the land of Egypt before I came to you in Egypt, shall be mine. Ephraim and Manasseh shall be as much mine as Reuben and Simeon. But with regard to the children you have had since them, they shall be yours, and they shall be known by their brothers' names for the purpose of their inheritance. When I was on my way from Padan, to my sorrow death took your mother Rachel from me in the land of Canaan on the journey while we were still some distance from Ephrath. I buried her there on the road to Ephrath at Bethlehem." When Israel saw Joseph's two sons, he asked, "Who are these?" "They are my sons, whom God has given me here," Joseph told his father. "Then bring them to me," he said, "that I may bless them." Israel's sight was failing because of his great age, and so he could not see. Joseph therefore made them come closer to him, and he kissed them and embraced them. Then Israel said to Joseph, "I did not think that I should see you again, but God has let me see your family as well." Joseph took them from his lap and bowed to the ground. Joseph took hold of the two of them, Ephraim with his right hand, so that he should be on Israel's left, and Manasseh with his left hand, so that he should be on Israel's right, and brought them close to him. But Israel held out his right hand and laid it on the head of Ephraim the younger, and his left hand on the head of Manasseh, crossing his hands. Manasseh was, in fact, the elder. Then he blessed Joseph, saying, "May God, in whose presence my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, may God, who has been my shepherd from my birth until this day, may the angel who has been my Savior from all harm, bless these boys. May my name live on in them, and the names of my fathers Abraham and Isaac. May they grow and increase on the earth." Joseph saw that his father was laying his right hand on the head of Ephraim, and this upset him. He took his father's hand and tried to shift it from the head of Ephraim to the head of Manasseh. Joseph protested to his father, "Not like that, father. This one is the elder. Put your right hand on his head." But his father refused. "I know, my son, I know. He too shall become a people. He too shall be great. Yet his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his descendants shall become a multitude of nations." So he blessed them that day, saying, "May you be a blessing in Israel. May they say, 'God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh.'" In this way he put Ephraim before Manasseh. Then Israel said to Joseph, "Now I am about to die, but God will be with you and take you back to the country of your fathers. As for me, I give you a shekel more than your brothers, the one I took from the Amorites with my sword and my bow." The Jerusalem Bible, Genesis chapter 49. Jacob called his sons and said, "Gather together that I may declare to you what lies before you in time to come. Gather round, sons of Jacob, and listen. Listen to Israel your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my vigor, and the first fruit of my manhood, foremost in pride, foremost in strength, uncontrolled as a flood. You shall not be foremost, for you mounted your father's bed, and so defiled my couch to my hurt. Simeon and Levi are brothers. They carried out their malicious plans. Let my soul not enter into their counsel, nor my heart join in their company. For in their rage they have killed men. In their fury they hamstrung bulls. Accursed be their rage for its ruthfulness, their wrath for its ferocity. I will divide them among Jacob. I will scatter them among Israel. Judah, your brothers shall praise you. You grip your enemies by the neck. Your father's sons shall do you homage. Judah is a lion cub. You climb back, my son, from your kill. Like a lion he crouches and lies down, or a lioness, who dare rouse him? The scepter shall not pass from Judah, nor the mace from between his feet, until he come to whom it belongs, to whom the peoples shall render obedience. He ties up his young ass to the vine, to its stock the foal of his she-ass. He washes his coat in wine, his cloak in the blood of the grape. His eyes are cloudy with wine, his teeth are white with milk. Zebulun lives by the shore of the sea. He is a sailor on board the ships. He has Sidon close by him. Issachar is a strong ass, lying down in the midst of the sheepfolds. He saw how good it was to take his ease, how pleasant was the country. So he bowed his shoulders to the load. He became a slave to forced labor. Dan is judge of his people like each of the tribes of Israel. May Dan be a serpent on the road, a viper on the path, who bites the horse on the hock, and its rider falls backwards. I trust in your salvation, Yahweh. God, Gad robbers rob him, and he robs and pursues them. Asher, his bread is rich. He provides food for a king. Naphtali is a swift hind, dropping beautiful fawns. Joseph is a fruitful creeper near the spring, whose tendrils climb over the wall. Bowmen provoked him. They drew and assailed him, but their bow was broken by a mighty one. The sinews of their arms were parted by the hands of the mighty one of Jacob, by the name of the stone of Israel. By the God of your fathers, who assists you, by El Shaddai, who blesses you, with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep lying below, blessings of beast and womb, blessings of grain and flowers, blessings of ancient mountains, bounty of the everlasting hills. May they descend on Joseph's head, on the bow of the dedicated one among his brothers. Benjamin is a ravening wolf. In the morning he devours his prey. In the evening he is still dividing the spoil. All these make up the tribes of Israel, 12 in number. And this is what their father said to them. he blessed them, giving to each one an appropriate blessing. Then he gave them these instructions. I am about to be gathered to my people. Bury me near my fathers, in the cave that is in the field of Ephron the Hittite, in the cave in the field of Machpelah, opposite Mamre, in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought from Ephron the Hittite as a burial plot. There Abraham was buried with his wife Sarah. There Isaac was buried, and his wife Rebekah. There I buried Leah. I mean the field and the cave that were bought from the sons of Heth. When Jacob had finished saying his instructions to his sons, he drew his feet up into the bed, and breathing his last, was gathered to his people.
Sounds like he knew he was done.
The Jerusalem Bible, Genesis chapter 50. At this Joseph threw himself on his father, covering his face with tears and kissing him. Then Joseph ordered the doctors in his service to embalm his father. The doctors embalmed Israel, and it took them 40 days, for embalming takes 40 days to complete. The Egyptians mourned him for 70 days. When the period of mourning for him was over, Joseph said to Pharaoh's household, If I may presume to enjoy your favor, please see that this message reaches Pharaoh's ears. My father made me swear an oath. I am about to die, he said. I have a tomb which I dug for myself in the land of Canaan, and there you must bury me. So now I seek leave to go up and bury my father, and then I shall come back. Pharaoh replied, Go up and bury your father, in accordance with the oath he made you swear. Joseph went up to bury his father, all Pharaoh's servants and the palace dignitaries going up with him, joined by all the dignitaries of the land of Egypt, as well as all Joseph's family and his brothers, along with his father's family. They left no one in the land of Goshen but their dependents, with their flocks and their cattle. Chariots also and horsemen went up with them. It was a very large retinue. On arriving at Goshen Hat-Atad, which is across the Jordan, they performed there a long and solemn lamentation, and Joseph observed 3 days' mourning for his father. When the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land, witnessed the mourning at Grovet-Hatad, they explained, This is a solemn act of mourning for the Egyptians. For this reason they called this place Abel Mizraim. It is across the Jordan. His sons did what he had ordered them to do for him. His sons carried him to the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave in the field at Machpelah opposite Mamre, which Abraham had bought from Ephron the Hittite as a burial plot. Then Joseph returned to Egypt, he and his brothers, along with all those who had come with him for his father's burial. Seeing that their father was dead, Joseph's brothers said, What if Joseph intends to treat us as enemies and repay us in full for all the wrong we did him? So they sent this message to Joseph. Before your father died, he gave this order. You must say to Joseph, Oh, forgive your brothers their crime and their sin and all the wrong they did you. Now, therefore, we beg you, forgive the crime of the servants of your father's God. Joseph wept as the message they sent to him. His brothers came themselves and fell down before him. We present ourselves before you, they said, as your slaves. But Joseph answered them, Do not be afraid. It is for me to put myself in God's place. The evil you planned to do me was by God's design, been turned to good, that he might bring about, as indeed he has, the deliverance of a numerous people. So you need not be afraid. I myself will provide for you and your dependents. In this way he reassured them with words that touched their hearts. Joseph stayed in Egypt with his father's family, and Joseph lived 110 years. Joseph saw the third generation of Ephraim's children, and also the children of Machir, Manasseh's son, who were born on Joseph's lap. At length Joseph said to his brothers, "I'm about to die, but God will be sure to remember you kindly and take you back from this country to the land that he promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." And Joseph made Israel's sons swear an oath, "When God remembers you with kindness, be sure to take my bones from here." Joseph died at the age of 110. They embalmed him and laid him in his coffin in Egypt. The Jerusalem Bible, 1 Kings 2, 1 through 12. As David's life drew near to its close, he laid this charge on his son Solomon: "I am going the way of all earth. Be strong and show yourself a man. Observe the injunctions of Yahweh your God, following his ways and keeping his laws, his commandments, his customs, and his decrees, as it stands written in the law of Moses, that so you may be successful in all you do and undertake, so that Yahweh may fulfill the promise he made me. If your sons are careful how they behave, and walk loyally before me with all their heart and soul, you shall never lack a man on the throne of Israel. You know too what Joab son of Zeruiah did to me, and what he did to the two commanders of the army of Israel, Abner son of Ner, and Amasa son of Jether, how he murdered them, how in time of peace he took vengeance for blood shed in war, staining the belt round my waist with the sandals on my feet with innocent blood. You will be wise not to let his gray head go down to Sheol in peace. As regards the sons of Barzillai of Gilead, treat them kindly. Let them be among those who eat at your table, for they were kind to me when I was fleeing from your brother Absalom. You also have with you Shimei, son of Gera, the Benjamite from Baharim. He called down a terrible curse on me the day I left for Manaim. But he came down to meet me at the Jordan, and I swore to him by Yahweh I would not put him to the sword. But you must not let him go unpunished. You are a wise man, and will know what to deal and how to deal with him, to bring his gray head down to Sheol in blood." So David slept with his ancestors and was buried in the citadel of David. David's reign over Israel lasted 40 years. He reigned in Hebron for 7 years, and in Jerusalem for 33. Solomon was seated upon the throne of David, and his sovereignty was securely established. The Jerusalem Bible, 1 Peter 1, 3 through 9. Blessed be God, the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, who in his great mercy has given us a new birth as his sons, by raising Jesus Christ from the dead, so that we have a sure hope and a promise of an inheritance that can never be spoilt nor soiled, and never fade away, because it is being kept for you in the heavens. Through your faith, God's power will guard you until the salvation which has been prepared is revealed at the end of time. This is a cause of great joy for you, even though you may for a short time have to bear being plagued by all sorts of trials, so that when Jesus Christ is revealed, your faith will have been tested and proved like gold. Only it is more precious than gold, which is corruptible even though it bears testing by fire. And then you will have praise and glory and honor. You did not see him, yet you love him. And still without seeing him, you are already filled with joy so glorious that it cannot be described, because you believe. And you are sure of the end to which your faith looks forward, that is, the salvation of your souls.